All right, and we are live in many places, and I want to remind you guys that if you are on the Zoom call, you guys can ask questions and or pop into the chat at any point, and throw stuff in. If I do push them off a little bit into a conversation, it's just because we're gonna talk about them later at the end. So good evening. Again, welcome to the Truth Tribe. I'm Dawn Thompson. It's good to see you guys. I have missed you. I know it's only been a week, but it's good to see you guys back. And I'm grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for the newbies. I'm grateful for those of you who've been with me for a long time. I always want you guys to know that I love you very much and that you are all perfect in every way in this perfect now moment. And that everything we discuss, remember, has nothing to do with you in particular. It's just about opening your mind to giving you some new opportunities to see the world and see it in a different light. So possibly you can raise your vibration to a higher consciousness. We're going to start with the message from my guides, and then I'm going to continue on from there. Consciousness is creating us to a point, and it's trying to wake us up. And what I got from them was consciousness is criticizing or carrying context. So I was getting the visual of it, of what we look at, the way we're awake, conscious awakeness, right? Awareness, awakening. You're having all these different words. It's really being conscious and unconscious. And consciousness is about us being awake to, are we criticizing others and things in the world, or are we having a caring perspective of the world around us? And that's really what's going on. So the context that we see the world in is the way we'll experience it. So your view of the world is showing you basically what view is good and bad. And you know, I don't believe in good and bad. So it's trying to help you understand, are you looking at that view from neutral? Are you looking at the view from, am I going to criticize it, or I'm going to be caring and understanding that it's a neutral state? And so when life starts pushing you guys around a little bit, you are going to start using two options possibly, right? Your programmed language, which you were taught, or your voice to live in a free state. And it's completely up to us how we decide to live. So how you live is not so much a language, but a consciousness state. We've talked about this, and I'm going to keep repeating it. Are you awake? And you're awakened to the state of seeing things from that global perspective, from that higher, 10,000 feet perspective, or are you right in it and you're feeling the emotions of things that aren't even yours? Your life is going to reflect your choice to live in a controlled language or a caring consciousness. Are you ignoring it, or are you in it? Or are you trying to be part of it, or are you trying to watch it, right? So we have to start looking at, how am I seeing this experience? You are energy, always energy. You're always energy, an energetic state, and you're attracting the same critical, right? So if we're living in that, this is where my guys were showing me, are we criticizing and angry, or are we caring and loving, no matter what we're watching? So your energy is attracting that same critical or caring energy into your life. No matter where it is on the external, what's showing up on the externally, you're going to find it appearing that it matches your energy field. So that's kind of what's starting to appear for all of us. I noticed this weekend because it was super busy in my house. I'm in Washington right now, and so we were moving just houses. And so of course, when you're in the state, you're in a state of doing something. And we were so engrossed in moving and packing and unpacking, and you do this and I do that and go over here. I had no idea what was going on in the world around me. And so what was fascinating is that my context was just caring about my state of beingness, my consciousness, being awake to what I needed to fill me up, my husband up, for both of us to feel happy. That was it. That's where we were. We weren't lost in, the scary TV wizards out in the world that are going to tell us to be fearful. And so I realized that it was a state of context. The context that I had of the world is how I was living. Joyful. We were happy. We were excited. We weren't even upset about the move. It was so fun, and we had a great time. And so my energy was attracting positive. We were finding all the things, we're unpacking things. We were like, oh, this is so great. I was looking for this. It was good. And I realized that's the context we're all in. So those of you who got the text on what tonight's title was, right, is does the F word upset you? Now, I know all of you, I got even a couple texts when I sent that out this afternoon, which made me laugh. So I'm sure if you guys, most of you who know me well, know, are like, oh, thinking that I'm referring to one F word in particular, that I find it descriptive. You guys know this. It comes out when I'm excited about a topic. And so I'm referring more to several F words that might upset many. So we're going to talk about a few F words, but I wanted you to kind of trigger your brain a little bit, which was, what F word upsets you the most? Okay, so think of it from that perspective. What upsets you the most when it comes to F words? And I'm gonna get you guys there, right? But is it fuck? See that word? It's just, you hear it and you're like, what? Or is it freedom? Ooh, that's the other F word that I have been catching left and right with people, right? What is the word that you think of when you hear that? The F word. Why do we get stuck in language? It's because the value and the context that you all are attaching to a word, any word, right? And so labels are such a big deal lately. And when you don't give labels any value, and you evaluate the person delivering it, the word changes context. And it's why a lot of people, when, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but why when some people hear the F word, right, they think it's a trashy, vulgar word. And then some people hear it as an adjective or a descriptor or an enhancement, as I do, right? They don't hear it as negative. I don't hear it as negative, right? And so it's one of the interesting things that I started hearing is like, wow, you can say something that can be incredibly vulgar to one person, yet it's very enhancing to the next person. Yet a word that I find is beautiful is not to another. And so it brought me to, I was listening to Kevin Hart. I love Kevin Hart. And I was listening with my husband. We were on listening. He has an audiobook, and a new audiobook. And so I was listening on my road trip with him a few weeks ago. And because he's so funny, right? You guys, no one can debate this with me. He's so funny. And his energy and consciousness is so high. And he's been through really horrific times in his life. Okay. In the book, and he describes it and he explains it. It's a good book. Gets a little long and lingering, but the whole thing, he's so funny the whole time, it didn't matter. But the point being was that his consciousness is high, and you don't even hear how often he uses the F word, right? He says fuck a lot in this book. But you feel so good laughing with him that his energy completely transmutes any words into like a high consciousness state, period. So you're just listening. So you don't hear that word in a vulgar, like negative, victimized way. You hear it as just humor and lightheartedness, and you're missing it, right? You just hear everything in between those words. Now, then I thought about it the opposite end. And when you hear it from an angry kind of victim state consciousness person, and then they speak that word, it sounds very low and heavy. Okay. And so when I say, what the fuck, right? No one really gets bothered by it. And I'm like, but I mean it, right? It's because I'm saying with expression and passion, and there's no malice behind my intention at all, right? And so when I speak about the other F word, this is what really gets people upset, especially in private coaching discussions, when I ask, what does the word free make them feel? I want you to think about this, because this is a big deal happening to everyone in the planet right now, right? And so it's more of a triggering word than the other F word. That's what I was kind of like waking up to and fascinated by. I was like, wow, fuck, that's an intense word, right? And I'm saying it out loud so you can hear it. Isn't as weird to a lot of people, but freedom or lack of freedom is a big deal. That's a big trigger word. And what it really is the context of that word. Freedom, which is what I teach them, right, is how, let's see, how you've always felt about it, right? How you've always had it and how we need to express it. And so this is a big deal. Yet when I talk about it, y'all know I'm going to teach you how to have it, how to get it, how to have it in any aspect of your life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's in physicality, whether it's your body, wherever it is. That's what I want you to feel free to live your truth in here. But then I started considering, where is this whole lack of freedom thing coming from in the world? And when you start questioning the content of information, most people are so focused on the low vibration TV wizards that say your freedom is now being limited. It's now being limited. It sounds scary. And something out there is there to be be afraid of it. Be afraid of it. Oh, right. And so then many out in the world right now are willing to accept the context of it, of being afraid, being fearful, being in fear state of the word freedom, not considering who the wizard is that's speaking it. Are they high vibe or low vibe? Not asking who's behind the curtain. Who's behind the curtain of your screen? Don't even trust me at this point. Trust your soul. Does it feel good? Is the person wanting you to feel free? Wanting you to feel good, wanting you to feel amazing? Do you walk out the door when you go out into the world, and do you adjust your sails to think differently than the wise old Wizard of Oz? Because there's not a single human who hasn't watched that movie in their lifetime and thought, oh, wow, we thought he was helping us be free, yet he was just some old person behind a curtain playing us. Not once has my freedom. And I've thought about all this that's been going on with these words and how people are listening to words and giving so much context to the truth of it. And they don't even listen to who's delivering it and questioning it. Is this true for me? So, and then I thought, okay, well, I don't think about it. Freedom is like the basis of my reality, of what I teach in coaching and my group coaching. And how do we be free in a relationship with our spouse, with our children? How do we be free to be ourselves? And so not once, you guys, has my freedom been restricted in this last 2 years, because my consciousness was to thrive and not survive. So I've been trying to share that same consciousness with all of you. It's time for you guys to start walking outside, out your door, and ask, how can I create my independence and my personal freedom? You. Okay, how can I stay sovereign and independent? Have I always had it? Yes. As Glinda, the good witch, remember in The Wizard of Oz, told Dorothy, you've always had it, my dear. As Dawn has been telling you guys the whole time, you always have had freedom. You've always been free. This is up to all of you to go within and go, what do I really want? Do I really care what the wizard told me? Is there another way? Because you've been free this whole time. It's all in here. It's all in your actions. It's all in your state of being, in the context you give to the word that is being given to you. Stop listening to low consciousness wizards. The cool part is that we're all shifting, okay, to higher frequencies. I know we've talked about this, those of you especially who've been on these calls for the last 2 years with me on this energy shift that we've been going through, right? Talking about moving to the new earth. Again, we're not going to a new planet. We're just shifting vibrational on the planet we're on. And so when we're shifting to these higher frequencies, because you can see the freedom topic, it's surfacing in your consciousness on a global scale around the world. This isn't just Americans or people in Mexico or close to us or Canada. It's a whole planet globally, vibrationally lifting up their vibration and awakening. So many wizards which is fascinating that people are doing this, are saying, but you're not free to live as you choose. And many, here's that word, are saying, fuck you. Watch me. I'm going to be free. And they're saying it not just to the TV wizards, but to the relationship wizards. This is what you do if you're going to be a good partner, instead of going, this is what you do to be free to be you. If the partner loves you, they're going to go, yes, go be free to be you. The partner that isn't connected in commitment of who you are to make you a bigger person, that's still a wizard telling you that's not good to be you, be me. We're playing it in every aspect of our life, you guys. And so what context do you take a word and say, oh, that's the way it must be for me too? It's not. Okay. So the context counts. What context does freedom have for you guys? Think about this. Okay. Are you free to choose your values? Yes. Are you free to choose your friends? Well, yes, right? Because people, this one, they ask me that all the time. Like, well, what do I do with my friends if like we're not connected anymore? Well, then don't choose them anymore and choose a new friend. Are you free to choose your health? Yes. And if that doctor, that, as I've told you in my health issues for many of my life, 5 doctors didn't answer what I wanted. I found 4 more doctors until the one said, I got the answer. I'm like, lovely. Why would you let and settle for someone who won't give you freedom to go be? Are you free to choose your spending? Yes. Eating? Yes. Beliefs? Yes. Faith? Yes. Yes. Yes, you can. You can choose. Are you free to have courage? Yes, today and every day you have courage to choose the freedom that you want to live in. Choose courage with every interaction. I'm telling you guys, you have to watch it when you choose it. I choose courage, and watch your consciousness shift from the words that you say, I choose courage, to the vibes you ping out, to the visual in your world. But you have to choose this every day, which courage is freedom. I have the courage to go live the life I want to live. No TV wizard, family wizard, external wizard, people out in the world, the Wizard of Oz is going to tell you how your life is going to be, because inside you already know what makes you happy, what your truth is. So do you determine how you live your life? Do you think you determine that? Or do you give your life to others and you let them determine what you can do and what you cannot do? And this is where it comes in. Not, I use TV wizards because, digitally, I just turn that crap off. But that's where a lot of people are getting their lack of freedom right now. But it also counts with, do you let your relationships, and I mean relationships in work and in love, in children, all of it, determine your freedom? I have a lot of clients who let their kids determine their freedom. I'm like, it's the other way around. You work your tell you how to live your life. They have no clue. Help them, teach them. So again, do you let others determine what you can and cannot do? I watch a lot of spouses let their spouses tell them what they can and cannot do. Do you even realize that you can choose freedom? Woo, there's an F word. God forbid we choose freedom in every aspect of our lives, and you all have it different. So that's why I bring it up. We all have it different. Some of us need to shift in different ways that others don't, right? So do you need to shift to a higher consciousness to live a freer life? It's a big question. You only need to readjust your sails, guys. You don't need to adjust the destination. You don't need to adjust where you're trying to get to. If you want love, pick love. I promise the sail just needs to turn a little bit. If you want success in your career, turn your sail a little bit. Choose a different route. Doesn't mean the destination. I sent out an idea. I cannot quote myself because I don't remember. I know it was a version of this today. So if anybody's on this call, if you can put it in the chat. I know I sent out the version of this in the IDI today, which was changing your sails and don't navigate the destination. But we don't need to change the destination, only how we get there. So what end destination do you want? Okay. What does it require for you to get there? Yes, you may have to try to get there 3 different times. People do this a lot with me in relationship coaching, and we do dating coaching. They're like, it didn't work. I'm like, okay, well, you might have to date 5 more frogs before you get your prince or princess. That's okay. Means you're determined to get to the destination. of powerful, strong power couple love, your life partner. This is what I've been sharing with you guys repeatedly, time and time again, to love what you love. Love your inner truth. Okay? Who are you inside? Research all the things that scare you on the outside that are holding you back from living the truth on the inside, that you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what makes you happy. You know that. Ask yourself, maybe like think outside of the box and say, do I realize that my freedom is not determined by what low consciousness wizards and friends and maybe employers or strangers say or want for me? Because I want you guys to realize you've been literally living your life for a long time with what strangers tell you is okay. Strangers, complete strangers, are dictating how happy you are and how free you are. I call it bullshit. It's total BS. And so here's the point, guys, is you can look for roads where you are free to heal, and you have to think out of the box, right? But where you are free to heal, where you are free to live, spend, talk, be who you want to be at any given moment in time. Okay? You just have to listen to thinking within yourself and say, okay, I have to choose higher consciousness beliefs in your brain. Okay? And I have to find all those out externally who are at the same beliefs that I want to be at, even if I'm not there yet, but I have to find them. Because when you listen to anyone externally, if you listen to their words from now on, I really want you to consider the F words and go, okay, I'm going to listen to these people the same way. I'm going to listen to them as a person and consider where they got the words they're delivering, right? And who is the source of those words they're delivering? And what is the reason they want me to hear those words? Are they freedom words or fearful words? And I'm not just talking about the TV wizard words. I'm talking about your spouse, when they tell you you're not this, or you're not good enough, or you're not that, or do I have to believe what my spouse says? What if my kid says you're not a good parent? Well, maybe you are or aren't. Do I have to listen to them, or do I go, no, I'm going to go find out if I am? We have to determine in here what we want to be. If you don't care if you're a good parent, well, then maybe you won't be bothered by what your child says. That's my point. Quit giving everybody outside so much power over the words they use. So if at any time, I want you to look out, a random wizard behind the curtain is telling you what is or is not true, you'll know. How will you know? It's going to feel high vibe if it's true. And if it's not delivering freedom to let you just go be you, it's not going to be true for you. You'll feel it. It'll feel restrictive. You're like, that can't be true because it's not good for me. Even if you don't have proof of it, you're going to feel it in your gut. You'll feel it in your throat. You'll feel constricted and almost restricted from it. That's why the whole planet is raising their vibration, going, hell no, this is total BS. Fuck you. That's what's happening right now. That's why it's coming out, because the restriction is happening. You can feel it restricting your ability to move free. When you hear a word or a concept or a phrase from anyone that's holding you back, you know, this is not where I belong. This is not where I should stay. And so when you feel it, I want you then to go dig, right? Ask questions, dig deeper, find a higher consciousness truth that gives you the F word, freedom. And again, guys, remember that freedom is different for all of you, but it's a global vibration that's happening no matter what. So you're not getting out of it. So what do you need to know to make what you want a yes for you to be free? What do you need to know? So I want you guys to remember that. I'm sure I brought it up to you before, but remember, we don't accept no in this group. N-O. We don't accept no. And what does that mean? Where does no come from? N-O. Comes from the word knowledge. To know, K-N-O-W. And to know, what do you need to know information in order to make it a yes and make it true for you to be free? Not They say no, so that's what it is. You just don't have the knowledge you need to turn it into a yes. This is in business, this is in sales, this is in health, this is in relationships. What do you need to know from them in order to make it a yes? What do you need to know that if they want it a certain way, you get it a different way, so it's still a yes? That's freedom. So what does freedom look like for all of you guys? Okay, that's the biggest question here that I want you guys to start paying attention to. If you live in a city, think of it that way. Oh, I can't go anywhere, I'm stuck. And it's not allowing you easy access. What do you need to be free and live as you choose? What would moving look like? Does it sound terrible? No. It's not always terrible. Sometimes it's a really good thing. What if you live with kids and you have children and you're like, gosh, I need to be free to teach them how to be free. And if I'm not free, I'm not teaching them. Maybe I have to find a new independent, a new school, a new place. Where would it be located? How would I find it? What would I do? If you have a spouse maybe, and you need to feel free in your marriage or relationship, without ending it or ending it, what would you need to know? What knowledge do you need to make it a yes for both of you? What if you have poor health? Okay, you need to have access to new health paradigms. So you're free from maybe some misuses of medicine. There's some beautiful medicine out there that is beautifully helping people in so many amazing ways. And there's some really crappy medicine out there. We have to find out the truth. Do you have a career that's only paying your bills, but it's creating shackles around your ankles, holding you back? Think about where you personally are being shackled and you don't feel free to move forward in life. Take 2 steps to check your consciousness. It's a consciousness check, okay? Where are you awake and where are you free? So the first thing I want you to do is start with number 1, which is one spot in your life that you need to feel free in. Where don't you feel free? Okay, that's the consciousness check. Number 1 is start with, where do I not feel free? Is it personally, professionally, emotionally, spiritually, physically? Where do I not feel free? Have the courage to find a way to be fucking free. This one's definitely going to get censored, but I don't care. Turn off the digital wizards like I did all weekend, okay? Who are telling you to be so scared all the time. Well, you guys have been told to be scared for 2 years and you're all still here. All of you, I can see you all on the call. I have documentation. I saw you 2 years ago when this whole crap started, and you're all still amazing and you're all still beautiful and you're all still super powerful. That's what's amazing about it. You're still here, rocking the freaking world. And I love you even more now than I loved you then. See, we're all growing. So number 1, find out what area of your life, look for it, okay? Number 2, research your zodiac sign. You all can find me and you all can research it from that level, or simply just Google what challenges are in my personal zodiac sign, okay? See that likely spot of what challenges come up with your personal zodiac sign is going to match very likely where you're not free in your life. Guaranteed. We don't like seeing it ourselves, but freedom comes from within. You determine what sets you free. Where do you want to feel more free in your life? Our personalities, guys, this is what comes up every time when I'm working through coaching with clients and in these classes that we do. Our personalities have 2 basic fears that I watch, and that's what's getting triggered on the planet right now. Okay, which one do you kind of think about what category you guys fall into? Okay, 2 fears I see repeating over and over and over. The fear of being liked or the fear of being restricted from freedom. So which one are you? If you're a personality that fears being liked, fuck may be a word that upsets you. If you fear being restricted, freedom or lack of it will upset you. Which group do you fall into? Right? Because a lot of people nowadays are like, that word, whichever one comes up for them, triggers them. I want you to think about it. Which group are you? Are you afraid of being embarrassed? Oh, they told me I do this, and if I don't, I won't fit in. I'm like, oh, please let me not fit in. I don't want to. So you guys, open your minds right now. I'm trying to blast you open, and I'm trying to push you like out of the box right now. You're being given a chance right now to raise your frequency to a higher consciousness. And if you can feel it deep within, close your eyes, you can feel it. Your soul knows it. You chose to be here at this time in history to live this experience for a reason. That we're all going through this, everyone on this planet. We chose to be here right now at this time and space for a reason. And it's for sure, I'm guaranteeing all of you right now, this is a fact. It is for sure you are not here to be a fucking survival mode. That's it. You are not here for that. I just want to survive. No, you're not. That is not why you've been put on this planet with this incredibly ascending, higher consciousness, vibrational state of mind. You're not. That's not why you were put here, to just survive. So it's time for you all to step into it. See how fucking beautiful your life can be when you are in power, and stop giving your fucking freedom to people you will never know. You will never know them. And to someone who you will never want to have their non-truth for you to begin with. So stop giving it power. Stop living another person's truth, especially someone you'll never meet, never know, never have contact with. Then someone in your own reality who you walked into and said, is that true for you? Yeah. And you didn't investigate personal relationships, right? You guys have to understand, you choose your reality. It can be criticizing or caring. If you're criticizing people, you're not looking at truth. You're looking at them so you don't have to see your truth. Are you caring and going, oh, that sucks for you? Sucks they're in that place, but I'm going to go live my truth, because if I'm free, it can help more people. No matter the language that it is spoken in, what the consciousness of that person delivering it is where you're going to find the vibration, period. Just like I said, Kevin Hart is funny. He is so funny, and you don't notice it until you listen to him. Every sentence, he drops an F-bomb, 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 but you don't even hear it anymore. And I was listening to him like, that's so fascinating. You don't hear it because you're in humor, comedy, you're laughing, your endorphins are flowing, you feel good. You don't care what the word says or means or experiences. Do not live another day without raising your consciousness and scanning another person's consciousness to see if it matches where you want to be. Free. Can you do it? Okay, quick planetary update to match this. Let's talk about that. Full moon in Aquarius was on Friday, guys, so a few days ago, okay? And I'm bringing it up. I brought it up last time to prepare for it, but it seemed that tripped up quite a few people. I get so many texts around this in the last few days that got people really wobbly. And it was the time I kind of shared with all of you for you to detach and to let go of what needs to die. That's what this full moon was about. Did you do it? That's why I'm bringing all this up. We've got to get into this really harsh mode of going, oh my gosh, I truly need to give it the middle finger and say no more. Did you really let go with that moon? Did things appear to bubble up and bring up your trauma and your old wounds? It could have just been a memory, an emotion, a thought, people, words, dialogue with people. Did it come up? Were you feeling emotional? Right? And it kind of probably brought up this backwards feeling. That's the feeling that was coming up for a lot of people. The feeling of looking or being pulled backwards. Okay. It wasn't specifically because of the moon. It was more coming up because 6 planets and asteroids in combo are in retrograde right now. And because of this, and the Aquarius full moon was causing discomfort as we are expanding more into Aquarian energy. And again, remember Aquarius rules freedom, which is why I keep bringing this freedom word up. It's helping you transmute deep wounds and blocks. Remember, it's filling them with light and going, do you see the truth? Do you see the light in this? It's time to clear it. It's even clearing to the point of going, see how amazing this is? And you're like, ooh, is it going to last? Can I hold on to this? Is it great? Yes, it is. It will last. Quit looking at the TV wizards and you'll be living in this beauty, amazing expanded brilliance that you're wondering if it's going to last? Yes. That's how deep this planetary shifting is going. So the more discomfort for you guys that's appearing, the more you must see it as Aquarian energy. And the way I say that is Aquarian energy is sunburst in, sudden out, sudden in, sudden out. So it's saying, look, see it? Now let go of it, let it die. Bring it in anew. Oh, another one, let it go as fast as it comes in. So in and out energy, as fast as it appears, it is going to basically dissolve just as fast if you are willing to let it go and go, no, I want freedom over this past. Okay, so just a quick recap here, guys, and then I'm going to go into Q&A. This call, tonight's call is not about the words, the F words, fucking freedom. That really isn't what tonight's call was. I was just kind of giving you a little bit of like, ta-da, passion. You know, that's really where it's trying to get you guys' attention, because it's more about you can choose to live in a consciousness state of being that isn't affected by any word or person externally. That's where I'm trying to get you guys. Your energy will dictate your life. And can you choose freedom and thriving in your every action? Can you? That's the question I'm asking all of you tonight. Can I do that? You can. Will you, though? Will you do it? Okay, so I'm going to go over the tips real quick. Tonight's tips. What did we cover? F words are no different than an S word or a C word or any injustice that you believe is bad. Can you choose to see life through loving eyes? It's always in context or a person's delivery. So stop looking at any external information coming in until you can go, is it my truth? Well, I don't even like it, but it's not my truth, so I'm just going to let it go. Instead of judging people on the words they use, judge them on the vibration they send. Number 2, base of your consciousness delivery. If someone's giving you delivery, go to the base of where that consciousness is coming from. Are they conscious or are they unconsciously delivering you information? So what does it feel like? Is it caring or critical? That's what you really want to ask yourself. If they're giving you caring information, who cares what words they use? They're there trying to help you and care for you and enhance you. Everyone, when they talk to you, you want them to feel like you care, not that you're criticizing them. Number 3, dig and research for freedom to override your fear. If you're afraid of something, go dig for another option and turn your sail. Fuck this is your freedom. That's the whole planet. The whole planet is doing that right now. Every city, if you're watching the TV wizards, they're telling you, no, be afraid. It's all going to hell. It's all going to crap. It's not. Actually, there's city after city after city in these huge freedom marches. Why? Because they're saying, I'm not going to be controlled anymore. Neither do you have to. Do not accept no. Write that down again. I will not accept no. I just need knowledge to make it a yes. Raise your consciousness and then scan their consciousness. Is it in your highest good with whatever they're delivering? Everybody right here, tap your chest, tap your thymus, tap into your nervous system. I am courage. I am love. I am courage. I am love. All day long, tap in the energy, tap it in and raise your vibration to that next level. Your challenge question for the week, what F word upsets me and why? What F word upsets me and why? I can tell you it's not, it's definitely freedom. If something restricts my freedom, it definitely will trigger me for a second and then I'll go, okay, well, what do I need to do to work around it? I'll sail around it. I'll drive a detour around it. I'll take a 3-hour extra trip to avoid that to get what I want. I do not question getting what I want. Am I critical or caring? What F word upsets me and why? And am I critical or caring? Because most of people, when I listen to them, they don't hear themselves being critical about something. They don't hear themselves being caring. I care where they're coming from. And I wish them well, as opposed to being critical of one person out there. You have no idea who these strangers are. Okay. All right, guys, let me open up for Q&A. I'm going to throw in, if you guys want to start commenting in the chat, again, remember on Zoom, no one can see these chat comments but me. I want you to throw in the comment in the chat, what F word affects you more? Throw in there which ones. I'd love to hear from which ones of you. That's not a word that I offered. Someone put fear. That's a good F word. So hold on, let me see some of these comments. Let me give you some questions that are coming in, and you guys go ahead and keep filling in the Q&A. So let's move into Q&A here. I awoke with a nightmare in fear. Thymus tapped. I am courage, and I fell back asleep. This is beautiful. Because your nervous system, if you keep doing this over and over again, I am courage, I am love, and you tap into this nervous system right here, it's triggering the entire nervous system. And it's not just triggering right here. What happens is when you tap this in, you need a couple taps and it'll rewire the entire system to drip in the endorphins, the cortisol, whatever, or sorry, cortisol, not cortisol. Your dopamine and serotonin to get you back into a relaxed state so that you feel better, and it starts working, and it's a shorter time period for it to work, but you have to do it more often than once. You have to do it almost every day. Sometimes I'll walk around just going on my walks. I'm sure, like I told you, people question, what is she doing? I don't care. I just want to be free in my sovereign, independent state. Okay, so next question coming in. Remember, guys, start throwing at me in the Q&A. Let me see what you guys are coming up with. Which F words is the biggest trigger for you? Freedom, or hearing that, the word fuck? Is it derogatory? Is it vulgar to you? Or is it, holy crap, have you ever heard anyone, I am so fucking happy? It's like, their extreme happiness, like they're just beyond, they're trying to express it to the highest level. It changes the context. So we have to look at it from those perspectives, okay? Next question. Let's see, it says, is this only the F words you are meaning, or do you mean any word can be manipulated into context according to the consciousness of the person delivering or receiving? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. This is such a great perspective or question. You must see that language is not your determinant from now on, okay? The language cannot be determining how you live your life. It's the vibration of how it's delivered. That's how I want you to start looking at things. It's not the words they deliver saying, no, you can't do this. It's the vibration of going, no, you can't do this, but I'm not sure if there's another way. Let me give you an option. That's a high vibe option. When someone delivers it in the, no, you can't do this, and you're going to be in trouble and you should be scared, and I want you in the corner in a cage and don't move. That's going to scare you. That's a low vibe delivery. Okay. Who is delivering the energy, the word, the context of the language? And more important, what does it make you feel? Free or fucked? That's really the question I'm asking you guys. How does it make you feel? Because that's where we're in. We're in a higher consciousness state where no word or language, we could all start communicating and not speak a word, and we would be better off. Because you would know how someone is just by the vibration, with their eyes, with their energy. People all know me when you're in person. I hug. I'm a hugger. I hug you whether you want it or not. And they're like, okay. And they take it and they're like, oh, I love that. Because we're sensory people. We need to feel each other, hug, touch. That's why holding hands, that's why, in later years, just holding someone's hand when they're not feeling well makes them feel better. It releases dopamine. It's the touch hormone. That's why do you think our phones have gotten so important, why they've gotten you addicted to them? Because each time you touch and you get a ding, 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 and a comment or a response, you're getting a dopamine drip. You're getting hormone drip. Same thing, but you can do it in reality. What does the delivery of an energy tell you? Okay, number 2. All right, guys, go ahead and keep throwing the questions in. This is great. What else you got for me? Let's see. Can we really take back our freedom with all of the destruction? Yes, you really can. Because all of the destruction is on what you decide to look at. Are you looking at destruction? Yes, I have clients asking me daily for alternative methods, okay? For healing your bodies, healing your minds and healing your spirit. So if you're looking for methods that have been taught to you old as time for generations, hundreds, thousands of years, or if you're saying there's got to be an alternative, these are clients, these are people, these are friends that have chosen the day they asked me to take back their ability to live free and not in fear. It's that simple. You get to choose too. So I have yet to accept no from any business, any client, any healing, any learning, or dead ends that appear in my life. And I teach that too. I'm literally walk out the door and I look for a route. I look for a new route. Like, this is the destination and I'm going to find route A, route B, route C, route D, route E, and then even Q to get what I want. I do it for everything in my life. Every destination I'm trying to get to, when someone says, well, you can't do that, I'm like, well, okay, well, what are the options? What am I going to need to get that? You have to want it so bad, that thing, that nothing can stop you. And no person or their words or their context of how they determine those words can stop you. Because they will try. Why? They're not trying to stop you particularly. They just are afraid because they're listening to the wizards. You're not. Okay? And so I want you guys to understand is, if you can stick into that perspective, it will help you to change the perspective of where you're at. Okay? And so I do this for everything. I've always start at the end, and then I figure out how many options I have to have in order to get it. So that if one shows up, I'm like, okay, now this is a trick of doing events for a living. We have to have plan A through E. If something goes wrong, the show must still go on. Well, all of you functioning at that same level, it will be helpful. Okay? No matter what. Again, if you want love, if you want health, if you want wealth, if you want success, if you want a career, if you want children to be in a different light, if you want to teach them differently, you've got to have a non-negotiable win pattern. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, next question. Let's see. Okay, when you asked if I feel another's energy makes me feel free or fucked, that does bring up another set of feelings. That's an empowering reminder that we are responsible for our lives, period. It is. It's a very, very good statement here, right? If you guys can think of it from that perspective, does this make you feel free or does it make you not? And I'm using the more extreme F-bomb because you have to get to that extreme. Does it make you feel that bad that you're going to literally sit there and let another human being that probably doesn't even know you tell you you can't do something, when most of your life you never did that? What I'm trying to say is you probably did and you didn't even know it. Most people are like, well, now we can't. No. You've always been able to do anything you want. Remember, Glenda said it's always been inside of you. Dawn told you it's always been inside of you. You just finally woke up and said, oh, I can have whatever I want if I just pick more than one plan to get it. Yes, just more than one plan. There's more than one yellow brick road to get to the destination. Pick blue, pick red, pick orange. Pick a different route. If you have to pick 5 detours, you might have some really cool experiences along the way to those detours. But that is a huge perspective change that most people don't want to do. Why? Because you've gotten so habitually used to doing things in such a habit, you don't even know you're doing them anymore. So now it's coming up and they're saying no, and you're like, well, what do I do now? There are no options. It's BS. There are so many options that you can choose to get what you want. You just have to decide vibrationally, do you want freedom or not? And if you do, you have to find every option to get the freedom you want. Now, we're going to end this call because I want to make sure you guys hear me. What area do you want freedom in, and how do you have to adapt your life to have it? It may be weird and small, but that's what you have to do. And you may have to do it over and over and over again. I have a lot of people asking me about dating, right? I'm like, you might have to date several people in order to get to that person you want, but why wouldn't you do it anyway? Because you're not going to negotiate to the no. Oh, no, I just can't find them. I guess I'm doomed. I guess I'm never going to have love. That's bullshit. So stop accepting no from people until you start getting the one you want. When it comes to dating, that's relationships. Well, it's just terrible out there. Well, it's online. Have you noticed? I'm like, well, there's 15 online ways you can date. Out of 15, you got a pretty big net that you could cast. But no, we don't want to do that. I'm afraid of what you want. There it is. I would rather be fucked than be free to live the life I want with my life partner of my dreams. Instead, take the version you get till the next version you want is ready. And then the next version you want is ready. And it might be in doses. You're still moving intersection to intersection to intersection, or maybe you're in a boat. Maybe you're a boat person instead of a driving. I'm more the driving person. Maybe you're in a boat and you have to adjust your sails, and then you have to adjust again and adjust again. It's basically moving to multiple intersections to get to your destination. Yet most people won't accept that option. You all want a straight line. No straight lines in this world, in this universe. Aquarian energy, remember, sudden in, sudden out, sudden over, sudden up, sudden down. It doesn't change the fact that your destination is your destination. So if you're here to heal the world, to empower the world, to change the world, to encourage the world, then do that. And if it's in teeny tiny doses, you're still going to get there. If it's in huge leaps and you take a pause, huge leaps and you take a pause, you're still going to get there. It may be in crumbs, but not in whole pieces. Absolutely. And actually, I 100% suggest crumbs. I don't think big jumps in getting places is as easy to adapt to as a small crumb of adapting. It's just a little bit easier, right? Oh, that was a nice comment. So I rarely watch these, but I like your style. The reality of the message. Well done. You're welcome. And you know what the whole point is that I'm trying to share with you guys is you're all amazing. Go be amazing and go pick something that you want and quit letting anyone that you don't know stop you. That's what I want you guys to wake up to. That's what tonight's call is about. That's what tonight's call is all about, is you have been letting for so long complete strangers, wizards in some world, some of you it's at work. Well, someone in the IT department in 2 cities over told me that it wasn't a good idea if I did this because HR told them that I couldn't do that. Do you hear yourselves? It's so important, you guys, that you listen to yourself and go, who am I listening to? How do I make this happen for me and still be honest with my truth? Find a way to get to your destination, because you guys are all amazing, strong, beautiful, successful souls. I know why you're here. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you time to step up and say yes to freedom. It's time for you all to be free. Okay? All right. So I'm gonna close up now. I'm not getting any more questions. You guys, this is your last call. So if you want any more questions to be answered, throw them at me. Okay, hold on, you guys. I got one more coming in. Let's see. This one is, oh, thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I love you guys too. I love you all very much. And I am so grateful that you all keep showing up. It's so exciting. We're growing. Our little tribe here is growing and growing. Now we're starting to get much bigger. And I love you all for bringing and sharing. And so keep sharing the tribe. Remember the replay. If you are a member on ideserveitnow.com, make sure you are in the membership, because that's where you can go on to ideserveitnow.com. You can open up tools, go to your member access, and that's where you can just log right into Truth Tribe. Replay right there is a replay button, and it's a YouTube playlist. So if you missed 2 in a row or 1 in a row or whatever it was, you can go back and watch anytime you want, or share with a friend. If you're a member, you can get in. Okay. And make sure you hit the bell so you can subscribe and remind yourself, get a reminder of when it popped up or when it's there and you missed it. The other thing is the I Deserve It Center allows you access. If you're a Truth Tribe member, Guys, sign up for the IDI Center and you have access to the whole website. I keep adding tools and info. I know you guys keep asking about the app, and I just got an email. I haven't had time to check it, but I'm being told it's super close. We had some kind of like large glitches. I'm not taking it personal because I'm so busy this summer, but I got some cool things planned for you guys. I promise. Come the next 8 weeks, I've been working and planning, and I will open up and share all these retreats and the events, everything that's coming. I promise I'm not making it up. I realize it's really true. It is really happening. I've been dealing with a lot of shifting myself. And so I don't want you guys to think that we're not, because we're all shifting. I'm shifting. We're all shifting. These retrograde shifts, these retrograde glitches, I know, and they've been really pushing on me hard, but I've been actually kind of open to it. The same thing is like, does this give me freedom, or is this asking me to adapt and change? And it is, which some of these adapting and changes are actually really good for all of you. So I'm kind of grateful it's pushing my buttons as well, because we're opening up some new doors that are kind of cool that I wasn't planning, but now I'm kind of glad they did force me into a detour. So I promise I'm going to keep you updated. I will see you in a week, next week on Monday. And remember that you guys who do have access to me, feel free to throw questions or Q&As or things that are coming up. I'm happy to address them on the call, just so I put them in the Q&A segment, and we'll address them then. If you forget and you're like, oh, I wanted to ask her, throw it at me beforehand and I'll have them prepped for the Q&A. I love you all. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again on Monday. Have a great night. Brightest blessings.